Right, thank you for joining us at this time. You're watching News Analysis live on Politics and Business Television. The top stories. Lawmakers budget additional 30 billion naira for the renovation of the National Assembly complex. Nigerian Army destroys 233 illegal refineries in the Niger Delta region. Manufacturers and members of the organized private sector express concerns over the value of the naira. Details coming up shortly. Welcome back. I am Omoife Peace Osemere. Lawmakers have budgeted an additional 30 billion naira for the renovation of the National Assembly complex in the 2024 appropriation bill. The 30 billion naira earmarked for the renovation of the building was part of a 344.85 billion naira budgeted for the National Assembly after allocations were raised from 197.93 billion naira. The 344.85 billion naira signed by President Bola Tinubu on January 1 is the highest ever allocated to the legislature. The additional 30 billion naira brings to 60 billion naira the amount being spent on the renovation of the National Assembly complex. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, had on June 30, 2023, declared that Tinubu would, in December last year, inaugurate the 30 billion naira different ongoing project at the National Assembly. The renovation was initially built to be completed and delivered in August 2022, but the delivery date was later moved to January 2023 and then December 2023. It was gathered that the renovation of the National Assembly complex is yet to be completed, with skeletal work ongoing on the premises. Now, the Supreme Court has ruled that the federal government has exclusive control over activities on the nation's inland waterways, including levying and licensing operators in the sector. The Apex Court held that it is wrong, unlawful, and levies on businesses operating in the nation's inland waterways shouldn't be imposed. The judgment was given on an appeal filed by the National Inland Waterways Authority, the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, and the Minister of Transport. Respondents to the appeal were the Lagos State Waterways Authority, the State's Commissioner for Waterfront Infrastructure Development, the State's Attorney General, and the Governor of Lagos. Incorporated Trustees of the Association of Tourist Boat Operators and Water Transportation of Nigeria, and the Incorporated Trustees of Dredgers Association of Nigeria. The appeal filed in 2018 was prosecuted for the appellant by a team of lawyers led by Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, and now the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice. Now let's talk security matters, where the 6th Division of the Nigerian Army said it destroyed 233 illegal refineries in the Niger Delta region, while 112 suspects were arrested in 2023. The General Officer commanding 6th Division, Nigerian Army and Land Component Commander, Joint Task Force South-South, Operation Delta Safe, Major General Jamal Abdul Salam, gave the figures while enumerating the achievements recorded by the division last year. According to media reports, there has been a heightened onslaught against oil theft in the country following an ultimatum given to the service chiefs in June by President Bola Tinubu. Speaking on Saturday during the 6th Division Combined West African Social Activities at the 29th Battalion Parade Ground, Port Harcourt Barracks, the GOC said the military also impounded 72 trucks and vehicles and recovered 300. The Army, in synergy with sister agencies, would continue to ensure an enabling environment for seamless oil production in the Niger Delta region. You're watching News Analysis live on Politics and Business TV. Still to come, Federal Housing Authority says there are no plans to demolish 1,500 houses in the Federal Capital Territory. Details of this and more after the break. Do join us again. Welcome back from that break. You're watching News Analysis live on Politics and Business Television. Now let's head on to Taraba State, where the state government has announced plans to reintroduce history as a subject in the basic education curriculum in schools in the state. The state governor, Abu Kefas, made this known when he hosted journalists to a dinner in Jalingo yesterday. It was gathered that the history was removed from primary and secondary education curriculum in the 2009-2010 academic session. Also in November 2022, the federal government reintroduced history as a standalone subject in the basic education curriculum in Nigeria 13 years after its abolition. But the governor, while saying that history has a connection with the development of any society, stated that in no distant time, primary school teachers in the state must be first degree holders, while secondary school teachers must have a minimum of master's degree to enhance the quality of education in the state. Manufacturers and other members of the organized private sector have expressed concerns about the value of the naira, stressing that it was having negative impact on their bottom lines. Specifically, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, as well as the Nigerian Association of Small-Scale Industrialists, has said their members were already scaling down operations over the development, a situation that might lead to the sacking of more workers. Reports have it that the naira volatility on the I&E window has continued despite recent efforts by the federal government to improve the liquidity of the FX market. And now here in Abuja, where the Federal Housing Authority has refuted reports that it was planning to demolish 1,500 houses in the Zidu community near Lugbe Phase 2 in the Federal Capital Territory. Residents in the community had alleged that the Housing Authority planned to demolish houses to accommodate a housing estate to be built by a private developer. They also called on the FHA to halt the plans and engage in fair negotiations for compensation and resettlement. According to the residents, FHA's decision blatantly violates constitutional rights, disregards their welfare as citizens, and tarnishes Nigeria's global reputation. But the head of Press and Publicity Unit, FHA, Kenneth Chigelu, in a statement said it was not responsible for the planned demolition. And now, following a disturbing report on activities of bandits, kidnappers, one-chance robbery and the likes in and around the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, some residents, especially in affected areas, have reportedly fled their homes and relocated for fear of further attacks by these criminal elements. According to media reports, satellite towns across the 6 area councils are the worst hit as villagers almost on a daily basis fall prey to kidnappings, robbery and bandit attacks. It was gathered that no fewer than 36 people were killed and 339 others abducted from various communities in the territory in the outgone year. And most affected were communities in Abaji, Buari, Kuje and Kwali area councils. There were also pockets of incidents at villages within Gwagwalada Area Council and Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC. Now there are concerns that these unscrupulous elements have been attacking FCT communities with little or no resistance and suspected to be from banditry-infested states, which share boundaries with some of the Abuja Area Councils. Abaji Area Council shares boundaries with Nasarawa, Kogi and Niger State. Buari Area Council shares boundaries with Niger and Kaduna State, while Kuje Area Council, which is said to have the highest number of villages with attack on the forest, also share a boundary with Nasarawa State. Joining us now to discuss this is a security analyst, Comrade Saliu Mahmoud Dantata. Thank you so much for joining us. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Efe.
Right. I mean, I'm seeing you for the first time in the studios this year, so it's safe to say Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Same to you and every member of P&B Television doing the needs of the people, because people feel you in FCT and across Nigeria. Because even while I was in Kaduna State, I think a lot of people were watching you live. So keep it up.
Thank you very much. Now, let's talk about, the security situation in the Federal Capital Territory. They say security should be everyone's business, but it's really disturbing, the progression of events, by these bandits, kidnappers, you know, and the likes in recent times in the FCT. But let's start off by assessing the level of security in the FCT, bearing in mind the vow made by the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, on assumption of office to tackle insecurity. Well,
even though, you know, the Minister is a politician appointed, he does not have basic security training. It lies on the constituted security apparatus. And let's begin with the police that are custodians of what you call internal security. Because all these ones you see by members of the armed forces, that is the land army, navy, and the air force, are complementary. But constitutionally, any part of the world, the people that are in charge of internal security are the police. But with the current dangerous nature of the bandits as well as the insurgents, that there are even allegations and suspicion that they are backed by some foreign machineries. So the need arose for the members of the armed forces to also come in, and that is why you are seeing particularly the land army as well as the air force in every part of the fight against armed banditry, complementing the efforts of the police, DSS, armed squad of civil defense, immigration, and host of other security agencies. When we look at the FCT, before the inception of Nyesom Wike, there had been skeletal security bridges, particularly in outskirts. When there was a time around Kwali area, one of the area councils in the FCT, there was a time under Abuja area council, there was a time under Kuje, Gwagwalada, and now Buhari, and even some neighboring states like Nasarawa State. Part of the problems of the emerging skeletal insecurity has to do with too much concentration in the metropolitan center. Today, if the president is visiting anywhere, you will know that Nigeria has security. Same way you see land army of the gas brigades, same way you see the naval unit officers, you see the police mobile squad, you see the special forces counter-terrorism unit, special protection unit, the DSS, in fact, other routine of security, all for who? The president and commander-in-chief.
Right.
And all this is done to satisfy their higher echelons, which ought not to be. I want to tell you with all sincerity, today you'll be frustrated when you go outskirts to places like Gwagwalada, Dobi. You now go to Yangoji, that is along Abaji Road. You now go to Kwali. You now go to Rubochi, which is under Kujeria Council. You go to Gorgoda. Then again, you go to Karshi area. Then you now go to Ushapa. You go to Buhari. You go to Duse. You now find out that outside the established divisional police headquarters, the outposts, no presence of full-fledged mobile police squadron or that of the counter-terrorism unit, or even military cantonment. Even though we know of recent, we have some military cantonment stationed in Giri Junction. We have some in Ushapa, in Buhari area council, which are for the defense college. Then that of Giri is a full-fledged extension of gas brigades. Then you also have in Kefi and Ottoman. But the problem also are